We are so happy that you have joined us this beautiful Sunday morning to open your hearts and minds and to put on your listening ears to learn about the holistic practices that can support people of color in these tumultuous times. I am joined this morning by my partner, Rose Crapsley, and we are both going to welcome you to the Healing Retreat for People of Color. So I know that it's important for us to take the initiative to own our health and our well-being. You know, we live in a terrifically difficult time dealing with racism, dealing with inequities, dealing with so many things that impact how we can have peace of mind and balance in the body, mind, and spirit. What has always troubled me is that I know many of us aren't aware that within yoga, Ayurveda, meditation, there are practices that we can sort of put in our pockets and walk along and carry with us. And these practices help us deal with the aftermath of violence, deal with having challenges with by those of us who live in food deserts, having challenges with being in a universe where healthcare is not equally metered out. And you know, we are just, this is our time, and I consider this a time for a revolution. So, you know, it's also now during the COVID-19 pandemic that we think we need to stand up for our health. I know because of the work that we do, being in many lower level positions where we have to still go to work during the pandemic and we have to show up. You know, this is a way for us to bring more balance, to help raise our immune system so that we are not, I'm not saying this is an elixir or a magic cure. I'm not saying that. But I think if we begin to take better care of ourselves in general, even at this moment, it will have a positive impact on us. And because we suffer disproportionately from the ravages of this pandemic, it's important that we know tools that will help us reinforce our immune systems and take us to a place where we can use simple things like rest, another simple thing like breath, another simple thing like moving your body in simple motions. Many years ago, I had an autoimmune disease, and I found myself going to an Ayurvedic physician. This Ayurvedic physician, I had been sick for many months and unable to work. This Ayurvedic physician taught me how to live simply. And one of the main things that I learned to incorporate into my life was rest and conscious work and conscious breathing. And all of those things helped me to change my immune system. And there was no real, what do they call it, medication given me. It was all lifestyle change. So we're pleased to have our wonderful guest today, Sara Clark, Angela Dharma Fears, and Peter Weng, to guide us and teach us some of these practices. I have one more exciting thing to say. This is just the beginning. I want to smile because I'm so happy and excited, but this is the beginning of our year-long healing retreat for people of color. Every month, we will be offering a program to educate people of color and whoever else has tuned in to the practices that support body, mind, and spirit. These are holistic practices. These are ancient practices. So we begin today with mindfulness and Ayurveda and pranayama to just start us on the path. And I'd like to take this moment and just have us breathe together for just a moment. So make yourself comfortable. Have your feet flat on the floor. Relax your shoulders and begin to breathe into the area below the navel, above the navel, and fill the chest. Exhale from the top down and draw the navel back toward your spine. This gets rid of all of the stuff that's in the lungs. Inhale below the navel, above the navel, fill the chest. Exhale from the top down. And let us continue this conscious breathing. We'll do it for a minute and a half. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly. Expanding with the in-breath, contracting as you exhale from the top down. Feeling the breath, feeling this moment. Breathe. Feel your breath. I'd like to share a little reading by Thich Nhat Hanh before I turn this over to my dear Rose Kratzley. When we walk, like we are running, like when we walk too fast, we print anxiety and sorrow on the earth. We have to walk in a way that we only print peace and serenity on the earth. Be aware of the contact between your feet and the earth. Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. And here is our affirmation. I have arrived. I am home. In the here, in the now. I am solid. I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. I'd like to welcome Rose. Just take all that in. Wasn't that some goodness? So we welcome you, Rose, to share about the wonderful partnership that we have and the healing retreat for people of color. Rose Kratzley is the founder and the director of Ivy Child International. Namaste, Rose.
Namaste and good morning to you, Maya. Good morning, family. It brings me so much joy to be here alongside my sister Maya and sisters and community and my brother Peter as we share this practice and experience with you here today. This has been a vision, a shared vision for us to build and create community together, even through this complete struggle that we're all navigating at this time in a variety of manners. And so, thank you for making the commitment by rising with us this morning and being here. Our vision is to continue many more opportunities and activities for us to come together in an ongoing manner. And as Maya shared, this is the beginning of a year-long program that we'd like to offer. And so stay tuned for many more happenings around that. But really the vision and the humble wish that we have is to transform our generational pain and suffering and wounds into generational health and wellness for us all. And as we embark on this revolution, this health revolution, we also are inviting and asking each of us, all of us, to embark on our own human revolution. And similar to, the beautiful bamboo plant, may we heal and may we be able to continue to march and move and to stand tall, reaching towards the sky with limitless potential and grace and courage and strength through all of life seasons. That is our wish, while maintaining the interconnectedness of the roots that we all share, while staying connected and holding each other as we gather and stand tall like the beautiful bamboo plant. I have been so remarkably touched by the incredible gestures of love pouring in by way of messages and comments and financial support of a variety of sorts for those who are even through this struggle are making it possible for us to provide free resources such as this because we want to make these opportunities accessible to everyone. So thank you during this time for making even a humble commitment of whatever is possible, even through sincere struggle and pain. We see you, we honor you, we love you, and this is our gesture to embrace you and each of us through this time. We want to continue to hold each other. We want to continue to uplift one another, and that's really what the Healing Retreat of People of Color is about. Is to really embrace and hold in this time of COVID. I miss hugs. We all do. And so coming together to be able to create the space is just such an honor and gift. And I just want to thank you again for making this commitment as we all rise and join hands together this morning. These practices are very personal to me. I was introduced to these practices through my own family, intergenerationally. My family is from India. Oftentimes I share that I was introduced to the practice within my mother's womb, and it's been a way of life ever since. And that's incredible gift has provided me, so many amazing blessings and resources to navigate some sincere struggle in my own life. And oftentimes, how that practice was shared was through sound and music and vibration. And while I won't, make you sing in a completely foreign language right now, I just want to offer a brief moment of just a brief, holding your heart and just humming together. So if you don't mind placing your hand over your heart, and we can just sing together 3 times. We'll begin with mm, holding the sacredness, the love, all the positive intention that we're bringing together this morning, and then open up our arms together, embracing each other, embracing the sunlight, the beauty of this day, the light that we're all bringing together here in this practice and on this retreat, and we sing ah 2 more times. Mm, and ah. Namaste and welcome to you all. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rose. Beautiful. Sara Clark is the first presenter for our program today, our retreat program. She's an international vinyasa, yoga, and meditation teacher, and she has 2 decades of experience. Her teachings merge the physical and the spiritual practices of yoga and mindfulness and meditation to help to ease suffering and to liberate the soul. She has been a global ambassador for Lululemon and has graced the cover of Yoga Journal magazine, not once, but twice. And she has a series of yoga and meditation videos that have appeared or are available through Shape Magazine, Yoga Today, and Glow. So you can follow some of her work. And I'd like to present to you Sara Clark. Welcome, Sara.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Maya. Thank you, Rosie. It is just an absolute honor to be here. I've seen the healing retreat for people of color happening before, and I've always wanted to join, and either schedule wouldn't allow, or back in the day, and even sometimes now, finances won't allow for me to be at Kripalu for this powerful group to be a part of it. So it's just an honor to not only be able to facilitate, but to connect with all of you. Maya, thank you so much for seeing me. I'm bowing to you. I honor you and your work in this world. It's needed. And because of you, I am. So I want to thank you for that. And Rosie, that was profound. Like, I feel like I just got more light in my body and my soul from that humming and that embracing. Thank you so much. So everyone, it is, as I was saying, it's a joy, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to share with you something that has changed my life completely, the breath. I wanted to title this workshop, I Can Breathe, because we see right now, plastered everywhere, I can't breathe. And that is a profound statement, and it's justifiable as to why we're chanting, I can't breathe. But within that, I'm reminded that our words create our world. And so I can't breathe versus I can breathe feels very different in my body, and perhaps yours as well. And so for me, I can breathe creates much more space to lean into infinite possibilities in these trying times where the future truly feels unknown. And I know that the future is always unknown, but as there is so much change, it seems like every day there's something new. Our nervous system is almost under attack. And so my intention for our time together is to do a brief talk on why I really lean into the power of my breath, our collective breath. And then we're going to try on a practice. If you have a journal handy, I invite you to keep it close by. If you don't worry, that's fine. You can journal mentally. So we'll have a moment to reflect. And I don't think we can share in this capacity. So if anything, you can message me if needed, if anything comes up for you. And my intention is also to have some time for conversation as well. I hope that sounds okay. So as I was saying, stepping more into I can breathe versus I can't breathe. And for me, this is a powerful invitation to reclaim my own power, my own freedom in a world where I'm constantly seeing people who look like me being publicly lynched. And so my nervous system is in fight-flight mode. And when I'm in fight-flight mode, all types of things happen. Digestion can slow down. You might not even realize that your pupils might be dilated. Hair might stand up on your skin. Digestion might slow down. I'm not sure if I said that. Saliva might slow down. Heart rate will pick up. sleep might be disturbed. On and on it goes. There might be more anxiety, there might be depression, there might be a feeling of not feeling safe in your environment, not feeling safe walking down the street, not feeling safe going out into public for various reasons. I mean, there's also COVID happening as well. And so when we're in this fight flight mode, and this can happen just by turning on the news, right? So when we're in this fight flight mode, we're not usually breathing. And so this will continue to perpetuate this fight flight where our body feels like it is under attack and it's go mode. So it's slowing down all of the things that are secondary to survival, like digestion. Like we can eat later. Our pupils can come back to a normal state later. We can sleep later, right? But cortisol levels are spiking because our body's like, yo, there's a bear chasing us. We've got to go. So it's this primal instinct, this fight flight. But when we're in it for too long, when our cortisol levels are high for too long, when we aren't sleeping and aren't eating and digesting well for too long, it can wreak havoc on our system. And very often the dis-ease in the body, as Maya touched upon with her healing journey, that brief touching upon the healing journey that she went through with Ayurveda, dis-ease can then transfer into disease of the body. And on an ancestral and even an epigenetic level, the things that have been passed down to people of color are both magical, and some of them are things that we need to work through to heal because of so many other generations of stress and of trauma that are embedded in our DNA. And I think that's why events like this are so important, where we can come together and just reroute and remember who we are and utilize practices that help to fortify us, like the breath, like Ayurveda, and so on and so on. So the nervous system and the breath, where was I? Okay. So the fight flight is our body's natural response. We're usually not breathing. With the breath, with this free and natural thing that we were born with, we can bring our bodies into what is called rest and digest. Rest and digest state allows everything to come back in for a landing. So instead of the sympathetic nervous system sympathizing with the body, oh my goodness, you're stressed, you're scared, let's elevate everything, let's get you to safety, let's find safety. The parasympathetic nervous system jumps on board when we can just find our breath. It brings us back into a rest and digest state. So if you think of like a paramedic, parasympathetic nervous system also comes online on board to fix and heal and rebalance any of the things that are off balance, off kilter in the body. And so when we can begin to breathe deeply, we can come back into that rest and digest state. And I don't know about you, but that's the state that I want to be in whenever I can remember. So with that, also why I am leaning more into I can breathe versus I can't breathe is because our words create our world. Our words create our world, our thoughts create our reality. And so if we're in a loop of not feeling safe or not knowing what's to come or not knowing how we're going to get by, which can be justifiable and valid, again, we're stressed. And because our words create our world, the beauty is that we can utilize both our breath to calm down the fight flight, and we can also use our words. And so I can breathe helps me to come back into a rest and digest state. I'm not as tight, I'm not as tense, I'm not triggered by the images connected to I can't breathe. I'm back in my body. I'm empowering myself to continue on, and I'm enjoying the power that the breath has. So our words truly create our world, and our words can also affect, or our thoughts as well, can also affect both our breathing and our mental state and how we see the world, how we view the world. So the practice that I would love for us to try on is Dirga breath. And some of you might be well versed in it. It is a breath that I find is accessible to most. It is a breath that can support calming the nervous system. It can create balance and an even exchange of oxygen in the body. It can calm the mind and it can support introspection. So we can begin checking in with ourselves and asking ourselves, how am I doing? How am I feeling? And that in and of itself is the practice of mindfulness. Like holding yourself like a mother would hold a child when it's crying, and checking in and assessing, like, what does that child need? Does it need deeper breaths? Does it need positive affirmations? Does it need more sleep? Does it need a phone call to a dear friend? Does it need time off from the news or even scrolling on social media? So checking in with ourselves can be so, so, so profound. So Dirga breath can provide all of this for us. It's also known as 3-part breath. So you're utilizing the 3 chambers of the lungs, because very often when we're in that fight flight state, our breath is super shallow. We might be breathing from like collarbone to maybe right above the nipple, when we've got so much more space to utilize in our lungs. So it welcomes the full utilization of our lungs, which brings in more prana and life force into our body. And our breath is life force. Our breath is prana. And it's the same energy that supports the entire world in motion. And it's the same energy that is moving through all of us. So when we breathe, we are connecting to everyone on this earth. And so when I know that I'm taking a deep breath, I truly believe that it is supporting the collective. And so we're going to do that together. So this 3-part breath, we're going to imagine that the belly expands first. And what the belly is doing is it's creating space for the diaphragm to move down and the lungs to fill. So we're inviting the belly to balloon open. Often I catch myself sucking in my belly, but we're going to invite it to really relax. We're going to invite, as the belly expands, the ribs to fan out like wings spreading and taking up space, as I am also working on taking up more space off of my mat, off of my meditation cushion. So you're going to invite the ribs to expand. Again, more space for lungs to fill, more opportunity to drop into rest and digest state. And then you're going to take in a little bit more breath and invite the breath to flow into the collarbones, the upper lobes of the lungs, to really invite the body to gain even more nutrients just by our breath. And then you're going to reverse it. I'm going to lead you through. You're going to just let the chest relax first. You're going to maybe feel the ribs drawing back in. And you might even invite the navel to draw gently towards spine. So we're going to be breathing from bottom to top, belly, ribs, chest, inflate. And then we're exhaling from top to bottom, chest, then ribs, then belly, relax. So we're going to try this together. So if you haven't already, I invite you to find a comfortable seat wherever you are. And once you find that comfortable seat, if you're sitting on a chair, if it's okay, if it's accessible, I invite you to slide a little further forward. If your feet dangle, you might prop them up on a yoga block or even some books. If they don't worry, no need to scramble to get props now. If you're sitting on the floor or a cushion, I invite you to really let your spine lengthen tall. So we've got this clear channel of the spine to move energy through as well. So once you're ready, allow your eyes to close. And before we drop into Dirga breath, we'll just take 3 cleansing breaths, 3 letting go breaths, and they'll be in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll do this together. So when your body says so, on your next inhale, deep breath in through the nostrils. And then open your mouth, let it go. Let that relax your face. And then again, inhale through the nostrils. Let it go through the mouth. Let that relax your shoulders. And then again, deep breath in through the nostrils. Through the mouth, let it go. Let that relax your belly. Inhale again through the nose. Last one. Through the mouth, let it go. Let that settle you into your seat. And now just breathe through the nostrils with the lips gently sealed. And notice if those breaths have helped you already to breathe a little deeper. And the breath also allows us to be in the present moment. We're not in the past, we're not in the future, we're just here, which is all that we have is right now. So another reason I love the breath so much. So take 3 more breaths, just feeling the breath entering and leaving the nostrils. And I invite you to relax the belly a little bit more, to relax your chest a little bit more, to relax the shoulders a little bit more. Keep breathing. And this ease is already setting you up for more of the rest and digest state. This relaxing of the holding and containing is supporting the body, the parasympathetic nervous system to slow back down or to slow you back down. And we'll explore now Dirga breath together. Be gentle with it. Empty out all of your breath. And on your next inhale, invite first the belly to expand. Invite the ribs to flare. Invite the breath to flow into the chest. See if you can hold the inhale for just a moment. And then as you exhale, relax through the chest first. Feel the ribs relaxing and drawing in. Feel the navel gently pressing towards spine. We'll do this again. Breathing in, feel the belly, and then the ribs, and then the chest filling up. And when your body says so, breathing out, relax the chest, then relax the ribs, relax the belly. We'll do this again. Inhale, belly fills or inflates, ribs expand, breath floats into the chest. Hold the breath. And then reverse, relax the chest, relax the ribs, then relax the belly. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest expands. Breathing out, chest, then ribs, then belly, relax. Breathing in, belly, ribs, chest. Let your body take up space. Breathing out, chest, ribs, belly, relax. Keep going. So you're breathing in from bottom to top, belly, ribs, chest. You're breathing out from top to bottom, chest, ribs, belly. Find your own pace as you continue practicing. Welcoming in prana, life force, as you're inhaling to every cell of your body. And then exhaling, imagining that prana, that life force settling into your body like a healing light. I like to imagine this breath like a wave washing over me before it flows back out towards ocean. Find your rhythm. because our words create our worlds, if you'd like, you can layer on this mantra, I can breathe. As you inhale with Dirga breath, you can silently say to yourself, I can. And as you exhale, breathe. I can. Breathe. Take 5 more cycles. You can continue with this mantra, and or you can release it as you ponder this question I have for you. Keep breathing, of course. What part of your life do you need to breathe more life force into? What part of your life do you need to breathe more life force into? I could strip it down and just simply say, where in your life needs more breath? More of your energy, more of your nurture. So keep that Dirga breath going. It's full, it's complete as you just reflect. Where in your life do you need more life force, more energy, more attention to support your own self-care or soul care? So pondering that for a moment. And you might ask yourself, what is one step that I can take to support breathing more life into this aspect of my own life? What's one small step that I can take to support breathing more life force into this part of my life? Keep the breath going. Trust the first thing that comes. And just breathe into that. And then silently thank yourself for showing up today, for introspection and community and self-care. I like to call it soul care. Thank your body for that beautiful breath that is always with you. You can utilize Dirga breath at any time, during any situation. So thank yourself. And when your body is ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed. I often check in with myself by asking, am I breathing? I literally will ask myself that, because when I check in that way, usually it's because I'm not breathing. And then I can utilize mindfulness, right? Like I'm holding myself like a mother would its child, or like a caregiver, that motherly energy, and just assess what is causing me not to breathe. What do I need to bring my breath back into a deeper state? So I practice that enough where it's like, you know, neurons that wire together, fire together. Like I ask myself that often, which means I'm often not breathing, because we're all human having an experience. But the more we can practice coming back to our breath, the better. So it's not about being a master of the breath, but it's about checking in with the body, with the self, with the breath, and then utilizing these tools that you'll also learn more of today to find ease, find ease. And I'm right there with you, as I am also constantly, breath by breath, finding ease. So two quotes come to mind that I want to end this session with. Miss Maya quoted and read some of Thich Nhat Hanh's writing, this brilliant Buddhist Zen master, if you will. So he talks a lot about mindfulness. And one of the quotes he says is that your body is your first home. Your body is your first home. And then he invites us to say to ourselves, breathing in, I arrive in my body. Breathing out, I am home. Breathing in, I arrive in my body. Breathing out, I am home. And then the second quote that I want to seal this with states, and it's by an unknown person: when you own your breath, no one can steal your peace. When you own your breath, no one can steal your peace. So may you keep dropping into deep breaths, knowing the potency and the power that our breath has on the body to bring us back into rest and digest. Even when you are still stressed out, know that as you're breathing deeply, your body is at work. So that after that stressful event happens, your body can more efficiently drop back into that rest and digest state versus not breathing, being tight and stressed. Breathe. Your body will calm down quicker. Thank you so much. I think there's time for a little bit more discussion. I think there's an opportunity for questions or anything that you want to chat about. I am here. Thank you all so much. It's an honor to be here. Okay. So I'm hanging out as we await any questions that you all might have. My first experience with the breath was recovering from an eating disorder, because I was just so disconnected. I grew up in a white environment that caused me to constantly feel under attack, but I was young, so I really didn't know what was happening. So while I was recovering, I found my breath, and I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't a yoga teacher at the time. I hadn't done my first teacher training, but I found that there was this inner critic, this voice that had really taken over me. And I didn't want it to rule me anymore. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to come back into my body. And so I would breathe. And my mantra to myself was, I trust my body. And again, I didn't know what I was doing really, but spirit was like, look, you're going to find your breath and you're going to utilize the power of words to support your healing. And I still use that mantra to this day. I trust my body. So the breath, I can testify from 14 years ago, is a game changer.
So we have a question here from Sasha. It says, do you have any recommendations for learning more about breath work?
That's a good question. Let's see. I'm thinking of a teacher that I know, a colleague. Her name is Maryam Ajayi, like Mary, Maryam, last name Ajayi, Ajaya, Ajay, Ajayi, excuse me. She does a lot of breathwork courses. You can, let's see. I can also, if you want to email me, I can send you my 5-day breathwork workshop. So literally very similar to what I just did. It's about 30 minutes each day for 5 days. And I do breath work every day, and we have a little talk, practice journaling. So I can also do that. And I know there's other offerings on different platforms, streaming platforms. I love Thich Nhat Hanh's work on the breath. That was my first introduction to what mindfulness is and breath. Not first introduction, but that was my introduction to mindfulness and how to utilize the breath in even more potent ways. I hope that helps. And email me. I'm sure other things will come to mind. I'll be like, oh, I should have said this. So feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to send you my course.
And then Desiree would like to know, how do we balance the reality of what's going on in the world with keeping our thoughts positive?
That is the practice. That is the practice. I think everything in moderation. For me, I personally, I can't do the news right now. Like, I'll check out headlines to see what's going on, but the news is it puts me in that fight flight state too much, and it puts me in fear mode. And it blocks me from blessings. It blocks me from peace. It blocks me from feeling hopeful. So I think for me, I'll speak in I statements. I have to be aware of what's serving me and what's not, especially during these tender times, and really fortify myself with the things that bring me back to life and make me feel hopeful about the future. So lean into practices, into people, positive talks, movies, like whatever you need to feel good, so you can find balance of like, okay, I know what's going on in the world, but I'm also going to do this to rebalance myself. I try to get on my mat every morning. Meditation is a non-negotiable for me. So I wake up, I sit up in bed, and I meditate. So do something every day that can support your body starting in that rest and digest state, because there's going to be fight flight moments all day, because we're human and life is happening and there's a lot happening in the world. So first and foremost, if you can find a practice, even if it's 5 breaths before you get out of the bed, to let your body know that we've got this, I think that can be really profound. And you're not alone. It's a balance. It really is. Take a break whenever you need to from the external world and go within.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Jess would like to know, when combining pranayama with asana, do you recommend it before or after?
Well, I think it's connected. I really do. You know, we are manipulating our life force even when we're practicing asana. We're allowing more life force to flow through us. But I think if you're asking for like the practice, like pranayama as its own practice, I think it's more accessible after. Like you can, for me personally, you can begin by dropping into your breath to begin practice, like let's say Dirga breath. And then your body is more supple and warm and it can expand more. So I find that after practice is easier for me to drop into a deeper pranayama practice. Yeah.
Awesome. There were some questions around your email as where can people find you? And then if you could spell the name of the 3-part breath that you led us through, the Durga breath this morning.
Yeah, sure. So you can email me if you want me to send you it's literally called I Can Breathe was the workshop at info@saraclarkyoga.com, and Sara is spelled with no H on Sara and no E on Clark. So saraclarkyoga.com, info@saraclarkyoga.com. And Dirga breath is spelled DIRGHA, Dirga breath.
Wonderful.
Dirga
Thank you.
pranayama.
A couple folks dropped some comments. So if you have any other questions, feel free to continue to ask them. But I do want to just read a couple of these. Okay. Vivian says that I work in ED recovery treatment, and Durga Pranayama is so effective in helping my clients.
Yes.
Vivian also says, so grateful to hear your story in that regard.
Thank you. I'm sharing it more and more. For a while, I just felt like I was the only Black person with an eating disorder who recovered from one, but there's many of us, and there's a lot of science connecting trauma to having an eating disorder in the Black community in particular. So I'm eager to see more of that coming forth.
Desiree says, lovely meditation, Sara. I took a lot of great notes.
Good. I'm glad it served you, Desiree. Much love.
And Luanda says, I feel so much cleaner inside just doing that.
Right? And the breath is free. And I feel like our creator knew that, because it's one of the only, I think the only involuntary response that we can control. Like we can't really control the heart. We can't control pupils dilating within the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, but the breath is that involuntary response that we can control to support everything else. So yeah, keep breathing. It's profound.
And I guess if you have any other last things people should know about as we come closer to a wrap. There was one more comment from Cassandra, and Cassandra says, thank you, Sara. This was refreshing and breathtaking. Thank you.
Cassandra, thank you. Thank you for being here. I mean, I'm honored to be here as well. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Regarding what's coming up next, so I've been working on reclaiming my work, which is really big for me, because I've worked with a lot of companies that end up owning my work, and I have no say in how the work is distributed or utilized, or it's just a whole thing that a lot of creatives have to deal with. So in that effort to reclaim my work, I am putting out my own workshops. So I've already done 3. I Can Breathe was the first one in response to what's happening in the world. I Can Manifest was the second one, which I really believe in the power of manifestation through our thoughts. And then the third one recently was I Can Love, and in the parentheses, my body. So there's going to be more coming out, and I usually post about it on Instagram. Sara Clark Yoga is where you can find me. You can also go to saraclarkyoga.com. My site is being built right now, so you can just put in your information, and I can also alert you when there's more or a new workshop coming. But my thing right now is to create these workshops. So I have this curriculum, and then I'm going to film it so it can live on a platform of my own. So that is coming up next. So just stay tuned, and there's more offerings on the way. And thank you for wanting to stay connected.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll wait about 1 more minute. If anybody has any burning questions, I've been dropping your handles and your site and all that stuff as you share it. So we'll wait about one more minute.
Thank you, Dominique. Cool. Yeah. What else? Just the breath, the breath in these practices. And I just love how, I know the Western world likes to capitalize off of all of it, but really it's free. And even yoga, like if I forget my mat, I will just practice on the hardwood floor or a carpet. Like we really don't need much to feel better. And I know the Western world will try to convince us that we need to invest a lot of money in things. But we just really need our bodies to practice. That's it.
Thank you. Shadi says that those workshops sound great. Go woman. And Marcel asks, would you ever think about a workshop on reclaiming your work? There's so much to learn from you and your experience. Thank you.
Wow. I've been thinking about that. So I think it was Marcel, you said, you were reminding me to begin breaking down what that looks like. Cause I like these like week longs where we check in for 30 minutes every day and we practice. But it might be a different format. So yes to that. There's so much to learn. There's so much to say. And in a perfect world, I want all of us to like create our own work, especially as Black folk. Our work is priceless. It's invaluable. We have no idea what these companies want to do with our work. They already know the price on our work. We don't. So if we can begin to reclaim our work and put it out there for ourselves and own it, like that's my hope. Like 5-10 years from now, in a perfect world. So yeah, I'm working on that. Thank you for reminding me to not give up.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, no, nothing. Or how can we be in healthier alignment with companies so we can all win? Like that's the other thing. Like how can we realign so we feel like we're protected and we're all getting what we need? So anyway, thank you. I'm breathing. Maybe we all take a deep breath in and out to seal this. So settle in one more time. We'll just take one letting go breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then let it go through your mouth. Thank you all so much. This is a beautiful way to start my morning here in Grenada. Sending you all love. Stay connected, reach out. I'm here.